Or Touch IC Repair Live. I already have it set up. Put the Kapton tape over it, cut a hole in it, and Dray Bar's gonna replace Mason first, and we shall go from there. (450°C on my hot air station. It's gonna be different for you though, with airflow of 5. But my station goes up to about 100 or something like that with airflow. So 5 is probably, if you have one of those hot air stations that go from 1 to 7 or something like that, you're looking at between 1 and 2 probably. 5 is a pretty low airflow for me. Alright, so let's go. So I'm going to mix the lead-free solder with the leaded 6337 solder, just to so that I can get the lead-free off a little easier. So isopropyl alcohol to wipe off all the old flux. Clean it up real good. Apply some new flux. And we will wick. We will wick it away. Okay, that's an NC. No big deal. More flux. Tell it's already starting to gum up. My tweezer turns, hot tweezers turn off every 10 minutes with this Paco FM202. It's a little bit annoying. As you can see, there's a pad missing here. No big deal because that's not connected to anything. Okay, so you can just let that be. Alright, hold on. Let me see. I'm just looking at something now. Unrelated to this. Okay. Alright, so what's next? Let's see. Let's get the chip out. Oh. So just make sure the chip is in pretty good place before you start heating it. That way you don't have to really touch it. Once it melts, it's gonna wiggle into place, and you should be good to go here. Okay. Sometimes one side kind of pops up more than another. Just gotta make sure it kind of goes down. Okay. There you go. You see that? You see how it kind of wiggled into place? And then if you really want to test it, you can kind of just nudge the corner a little bit. See how that kind of goes back? Okay, so I'm just going to heat it a little bit more. That should be pretty good. It's smoking now. So I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. You know what I was thinking also? I put IPA on it pretty quick. I'm thinking maybe I should let it sit first for a little bit for the solder to really adhere to the pads before I cool it down, So that's what I'm going to do this time. Although I kind of used IPA for a little bit. Alright, so it should be pretty cool now. I just need to remember to hold off an IPA until I make sure the solder joints are, the solder is not still melted. Otherwise, it may create a bad joint. I've had a few repairs, warranty returns recently, and it is annoying every time because you're basically doing twice the work. Alright, so let's test it now. Ugh. Let me see if I can do this. Make this big, and then we will turn it on. There it goes. Apple logo is good. and their touch works. So that was a live Touch IRC repair. Now the question is, do I replace the smaller chip as well, right? I'm reluctant to change it, to be honest with you, because I think it's like 90% Mason, and I don't like changing things unless I absolutely have to, or I mean, unless I know that it's going to cause a problem. You know, I don't think Cumulus fails as often as Mason does, so I don't think it's a good idea to change it when it's not broken. So, anyways, I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit, and then I just need to come up with a plan to make sure this doesn't come back to me in a week. Some people are installing shields on them, and I'm kind of reluctant to do that as well, but I may give it a try. What I've been doing is just removing some screws, well, a lot of screws, because I don't think you really need the screws to hold the logic board to the frame. And when I say screws, well, I'm not going to show you that because it's got my customer's information in there. But anyways, when I say the screws, basically everything that holds this puppy to the logic board. So let me get a 6 plus board here. So the 6 plus board, you know, all these screws hold the logic board to the frame. The frame bends, and from my experience, it's usually bending this way. You know, that causes it. So I've thought about putting a foam pad under here, but that didn't work. I mean, I guess you know, some people have been installing these little shields on the back here to prevent it from bending. Really, you know, that's not a bad idea. So anyway, that's that. I just need to think a little more about it. I may give it a try with the shields, just because others have been having success with it, you know. So you can see it still works. All right, so that's it. I'm done with the live repair. I have a million more touch ICs coming because there's an article posted about the problem to a bunch of big websites actually. And anyways, I'll probably be stuck doing, not really stuck, but you know, doing touch IC repairs for a little bit here. All right.